welcome to the Irresistible Marketing Pod, the podcast that wants you to know that there are so many ways to get new customers just so long as you are willing to talk to people, not just at them. So stop psyching yourself out before you give it a try. LinkedIn is one of those platforms I think gets overlooked by a lot of my big-hearted black sheep rebel business owners. And to be honest, I've been overlooking it too. That is, until I accidentally started making meaningful connections and having people reach out to work with or for realsies network with me from something they saw that I said on LinkedIn. Surprise, surprise. So, I figured it was time to ask an expert how us unconventional business baddies can start actually leveraging LinkedIn if we so choose. LinkedIn business coach Mollie Lo, CEO of Lotus Mentoring, kindly dropped by the pod to explain how coaches, creatives, and small business baddies can master personality-packed LinkedIn posting to draw in organic leads. And no, you don't have to post any memes or inspirational quotes. She also explains how to polish our profiles so we're showing up in all the right searches. For instance, when our ideal customers are searching for solutions to problems that we solve. Enjoy. Hello, Mollie Lo. Welcome to the Irresistible Marketing Pod.
Hi there. Thanks for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Likewise, before we dive in and I pick your brain for all your knowledge about LinkedIn, can you just introduce yourself and let the good people know who you are, what you do?
Absolutely. Hello there, my friends. My name is Mollie Lo. I am a CEO and your LinkedIn business coach. So, what do I do, right? If I were to just say it plainly, I help you to use your LinkedIn profile to make money in your business. That's what I do. Okay. Now, I specialize specifically with career and leadership coaches, and then, of course, also online service providers, specifically on organic lead generation, sales navigator, in-mail sales sequencing, and attraction marketing. And so that is me and what I do to support people.
Awesome. So organic or not paid, so people are coming in just from the marketing that happens across their feed. Can
Right.
folks like coaches, creatives, healers, kind of atypical business people, I suppose, can they get organic lead generation from LinkedIn?
That's the $1 million question now, isn't it? Yes. And the short answer of that is, of course, yes, you can. Now, I think that when you think about lead generation and how to get people to see you, right? I always say, how do you find them? How do you attract them? And then, of course, how do you convert them, right? Now, it's not just a one component thing. And that's the component about LinkedIn here that I think a lot of people miss. Okay. So they know that they're posting on LinkedIn, they're putting all of the content out there. They are either writing a LinkedIn newsletter, they are putting out video posts, they might even be going on live, which is great. All really good things. Okay. But if you are not doing outreach, meaning finding your ideal clients, sending them connection requests, and actually growing your community on LinkedIn, it's like having a really awesome, huge billboard and it being put in the middle of the desert where nobody is going to see it. So, when you have a platform like LinkedIn and you're putting all of your marketing content out there, know that your marketing content is one of the formulas to how you lead gen. Again, same thing. You can't just send out connection. I mean, I guess you could, but it's not going to be really effective. You can't just send out connection requests on LinkedIn and people go to your profile and there's nothing there. They're going to be like, what is she doing? Right? So remember, yes, lead generation is easy. It can be, okay? But you got your billboard, you got to build the community around it. That's your job.
Yes, totally. I think so many people are like, I just want to have the billboard out there and then have people just come to me. I'm like, it usually does not work with that. Like, you actually have to talk with people, not just at people, regardless
Amen to
of your
that.
marketing.
Yes, it really is. How 100%. And and I'll also add too, I always say this because I think it sometimes clicks for people, right? Your marketing strategy is a pre-sales strategy. It is a pre-sales journey. And so when people understand, like, oh, I'm just doing the lead generation, Molly, but I'm not really posting consistently, I'm not sharing where my thought leadership is on LinkedIn, you're missing the boat because that is a part of the pre-sales journey that's going to help them to get into the formal sales process. And so I always, let me just sprinkle that up on there too.
You're so right. Because I think a lot of people, especially newer coaches, are like, I'm assuming someone will just see my stuff and fall in love with me and buy it immediately. And I'm like, you're not a candy bar. You're asking for like an investment, like a kind of significant financial investment, energy, time on their part. So of course they're going to need to like warm up, get to know you so we don't go, it's not like immediately to the sales pitch and we need enough stuff out there so they feel like they can get to know us before we're doing the hard sell. For sure.
Beautifully said.
So for my coaches and creatives and other kind of atypical business folks listening, what is the number one thing they can do today to start optimizing their LinkedIn profile to start seeing some cool results?
Yeah, so this is top of mind because I'm working through this with my client literally before I hopped on here. And so in your beautiful about section, okay, wow, let me take one step back. The thing about LinkedIn and what makes it so powerful is that LinkedIn as a platform is all SEO'd, okay? So every single keyword that you have in your profile is going to be optimized for your benefit. So what does that mean? It means that all of those keywords that you did, for target market research, all of the keywords that you would say that your ideal client aligns with you, take all of those and then add like 10, 15, 20 more of the same similar keywords that they all align with and make sure it's all over your profile, okay? Because you never know which keyword necessarily that your ideal client's going to put into the search bar. And the search bar is how you're found on LinkedIn. That is what is optimized for you, okay? And so keywords all over the place that speaks to your ideal clients and your personal profile is going to be the most important thing, one of the most important things I'll say, okay? Now moving into the about section, which what I just started talking about. There is what we call, and again, remember, okay, marketing pre-sales, which means that you should be helping your ideal prospects to navigate any potential hesitation and resistance to you and booking a call with you, okay, or even consuming your marketing material. In your about section, you want to highlight two things, right? Number one, perceived value. This is the ones where all of my clients that are like manifestation coaches, money mindset coaches, health and wellness coaches, they do really well at. Right? They're like, well, I'm going to help you get more confident. And I'm going to help you feeling really good in your skin. I'm going to help you to have a sense of fulfillment in life. I want for you to feel inspired. I want for the list goes on, right? This is what we call perceived value, okay? And it's not just dismissing it, it's not belittling it. It's really important that people understand the transformational journey that you can help those ideal clients get. What people don't do well and what they miss the boat on in the about section is what I call the value ROI. Okay, now this is how you quantify for people, and again, pre-sales journey. First thing, because at the end of the day, anyone who's going to give you a dollar, even a dollar, let alone $1,000 to invest in you, they're thinking, what's in it for me? How am I going to give you money so that it's better for me? Okay, value ROI helps to navigate through that. Value ROI in your about section is how you're able to, one, help people, your clients, save money, earn money, and save time. When you can articulate these three things and hopefully backed with wonderful testimonials, if you are tracking your metrics of all of the money saved, time saved, money earned that your clients have been able to achieve while working with you, that is what bridges the gap between somebody who's like, okay, great, I'm gonna feel really confident when I'm done working with Molly, which is fantastic, but like, what is she actually gonna do for me? To, oh, Oh, I see. Okay, so Molly's clients on average have been able to close 10K in sales in 3 months. Oh, heck yeah, that's what I want. And she gives me confidence and clarity, and gives me a sense of fulfillment in my business. Okay, now I want to talk to her, right? So, in summary, perceived value is really important. Don't forget the value ROI as well.
Gotcha. So it's like the first one is kind of fixing an immediate problem. And then the second one, the value ROI is what is possible when you fix that problem? Like how does your life change?
Bingo, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. And that's where people struggle because they're like, but how do I quantify clarity? How do I quantify confidence? So, in other words, you can say, when my clients have a sense of clarity in their career or job search, they now have saved time in their job search because they're not entertaining in entry level roles. They are now earning more money because they can ask for what their true value and worth is, right? Absolutely. Because of said intangible thing, perceived value, they have been able to now generate those tangible, quantifiable results.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah, thank you for that.
You're
Um,
welcome.
Okay, and then could we talk a little bit about search engine stuff? So a lot of my audience, this is kind of a new concept, like search engine optimization. And so when you say like LinkedIn is really keyword optimized, it's when someone literally types in something like career advice into the search bar, it's going to turn up profiles that literally say those same words, career advice.
Correct. Yes, 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 yes. And so here's the thing about SEO about LinkedIn, okay? As you and I both know, and listeners, you may know this, you may not. I don't know. Here's something for you to know, okay? The difference between SEO and SEM literally is SEO is organic, meaning free, okay? Like you're not putting any dollars behind that to be found, okay, to be seen. SEM is where you would then that's your paid ads, those are your sponsorships, those are their promoted spots, all of that stuff, okay? And so on LinkedIn, I what I teach first and foremost is the SEO organic side of things. That is where, it's understanding that when you know how to use a diverse list of keywords that your ideal prospects would align with, identify with, and if all of a sudden, because let's be real, when you open up LinkedIn, I don't know if you guys feel this way, but half the time I'm still like, okay, where am I looking? Where am I going? What do I need? Right? Because it's a beast. It's a lot. Okay. What people do is they use that search bar. And that's one of the most powerful things about LinkedIn is that search bar. And so the more that you can include keywords, things like career coaching, career advising, interviews, resumes, or in the case of my spiritual woo-woo people, right? Like, hey, I'm all about the, manifestation exercises or affirmations or whatever. The more that you can put those keywords into your personal profile, when somebody puts that keyword into the search bar, you are going to populate in the search results. And on LinkedIn marketing is for what? Increase visibility, increase credibility, and increase influence. Those are the three intentions of you having a LinkedIn strategy for marketing.
Love it. So again, this is the get to know you platform rather than this is the last step before the sale typically. And then I I'm curious if you have any advice for one thing, especially people who come to me for messaging help. I know a lot of people who are kind of newer to marketing and sales are like, I struggle to understand the language that people describe their problem with when they have less expertise than me. And I can immediately point it to like, you're struggling with codependency and people pleasing. Well, they might not have attached that language to the immediate problems that the like people pleasing coach actually helps them with. Do you have any advice for figuring out how the people who don't know the full iceberg of the problem and are just aware that like the symptoms above the water, how to go about researching matching the language for how you talk about stuff that you solve with how they talk about stuff that they're struggling with?
Ooh, this is such a juicy question. I love it. Okay. So the answer is within the question that you just posed. Okay. So when I teach attraction marketing on LinkedIn, it is based off of my four pillars of awareness. Okay. So when you are creating content on LinkedIn, you want to focus on symptom awareness, problem awareness, solution awareness, and desire awareness. Okay. And so, especially if you're like, yeah, what you're experiencing is total people pleasing, but your ideal client is still not quite aware of that problem. You want to create content that speaks to both. So, for example, I'll give you feel free to take this idea, y'all. So, if this speaks to you, go for it. Okay. What you want to do is you're going to just start out by saying, hey, it's Monday, and I know that you are struggling with your coworker, and you really just want to just be like, get out of my face. I don't want to talk to you right now. It's Monday. It's too early for this. I haven't finished my cup of coffee, right? But you suppress those feelings. Is that how you're feeling right now? It's a Monday morning right now. Okay, now you're going to queue up your post for like 7 a.m., y'all. Okay? And then the second paragraph is, so as a confidence coach or somebody who helps clients to overcome people pleasing, this is a common situation that happens on a Monday morning with my clients. Now, I know that for you, you're just feeling frustrated, overwhelmed, and you just want to be like, get out of my face. But guess what? That's not how we want to go about establishing, positive, healthy boundaries or whatever, right? What I want to share with you is the problem that's attached, that's causing the root cause of these symptoms is your people pleasing. That is what's causing you to feel this way and experience the situation with your coworker, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so long story short, for those who aren't sure and your ideal clients don't know what that is, it's your job to connect the dots for them in one post. In one post. So you speak to the symptoms and then you tell them what the root problem is right immediately after.
Oh, I love that. So juicy. And those four content pillars are genius. Yeah, that's so good. Um,
Hey.
so I'm curious for folks who are smaller business owners, like solopreneurs, maybe they have part-time help or like one marketing person, and we can't physically keep up with like HubSpot's posting recommendations, for instance. Do you have any guidelines or advice on how often people should try to be posting on their LinkedIn or updating their profile?
Yeah, absolutely. So here's the thing, okay? Usually, once you have a fully optimized profile, it's pretty set to go. There are some new functions that LinkedIn will roll out that you're like, oh, I've never seen that before. Yep, in those instances, you just follow me. I'm gonna tell you when those launch anyway, so you don't need to do it. I'll track it for you, and I always share it with my community. Okay, so from an optimization perspective, once it's optimized, you're pretty much 95% of the time fully optimized, you're ready to roll. Okay. Now, from the perspective of like, okay, so how do I go about doing, because we talked about, sorry, I already forgot the half of the question. We talked about the optimization, and you had asked me, what was the second half of that?
How often to post?
Oh, yes. How often to post? Okay. Now, consistency is really important. Okay. But quality over quantity is going to be your best friend. Okay. So here's the thing, if you're struggling to keep up, start with once a week, but it has to be a really quality post. And let me just tell you something, an inspirational quote is not a quality post. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. If you think that that is, oh, sending you lots of love and lots of support, but that's not what we're talking about. Okay. On LinkedIn, a quality post, again, is going to speak to those four pillars of awareness: symptom, problem, desire, and awareness solution, or solution awareness. Okay, so that's what you're going to hit on. You want to be establishing yourself as a thought leader, okay, first and foremost. And on LinkedIn, that's the only thing that they want you to be, is a thought leader. Okay, it doesn't mean you got to be perfect, but you have to be a thought leader. Ruffle some feathers, y'all. Okay, create a post that generates conversation. So that's the first one. And then the other recommendation is, if you're like, I really don't have time to post, and I only have truly, I just need to do something on LinkedIn, LinkedIn newsletter is going to be your best friend. Because not only does a LinkedIn newsletter serve as an email campaign, it also doubles up as your weekly post. So you get 3 in 1 with a LinkedIn newsletter.
Awesome. And that raises an interesting question as well. So say someone's like, but when I post an inspirational like quote or I post like a meme and it gets so many more likes than what I normally do, would you want to adjust their perception of how to judge the success of your LinkedIn strategy based on understanding this is a pre-sale marketing platform primarily?
Yes. Oh, you're becoming my best friend real quick here. You're saying all the things that need to be said, which I love. Here's the thing. If you just want to have a strong presence on LinkedIn, do the memes, do the inspirational quotes, you're gonna get the engagement. And we're not saying I'm not sitting here telling you engagement's bad. But here's the thing. You know when we talk about people who have like a shit ton of followers, but then they have zero in their bank account for revenue? That's what we mean. Okay? So I would rather, if you're looking to monetize your LinkedIn presence and not just optimize it from a visibility perspective and just get a ton of followers and new connections or whatever, you want to create the posts that might only get 10 or 15 likes, that may only get 550 impressions. But guess what? They're all your ideal clients. Those are the people that's going to make you your money. And I would rather chase them than the vanity metrics.
I'm definitely something this for the social medias. Thank you for saying that. I think so many people need to hear that over and over and over again, especially if we're kind of in a niche field or we have a very specific aligned client. We don't need everybody to like us or to like our content. Like a lot of us would be like very happy with 5 paid clients. So I have to keep reminding my folks that a lot. Like we don't actually need to go viral. That's not the thing that's going to get you the right people. We need to appeal to our very specific niche audience. That's what's going to get you the sales you want.
100%. I think, to your point, I think it's important to understand how the algorithm works. I think it's important to understand how in my world, right, LinkedIn people in headquarters decides to renew, reboost what the algorithm likes and doesn't like. That is important for us to understand. But if your intention every day is to beat the algorithm, then you're chasing those vanity metrics. You are chasing something that is more fluff than it is something that's actually going to be tangible, that's going to help you to truly grow your business. And that's the reason why I wanted to make sure that when I decided that this is what I was going to do for my business, that it wasn't just on, oh, LinkedIn optimization, this is going to be great. Like, blah, blah, blah. No, let's really teach y'all how to monetize this too, because otherwise, we're pro bono coaches, y'all. And while there's a time and a place for that, eventually we grow out of that and we want to maintain our quality of life or increase our quality of life. And I want to make sure that I'm serving my clients in the best way possible without having to sacrifice my quality of life.
Yes. So last on tactics before we get into juicy storytelling stuff, but
Yeah.
I'm curious, when would you advise a coach, a creative, a healer of some kind on LinkedIn to consider paid LinkedIn strategies? So InMail, I'm forgetting the other ones, but yeah, when should they start looking into paid strategies?
When you can rock and master organic strategies first.
Hmm.
Again, I hope y'all are hearing this from a place of true love and compassion, and it may come off as tough love, but I think one of the things, not I think I know, one of the things about LinkedIn, the reason why LinkedIn as a platform is so lucrative is because they prey on individuals like yourself who thinks that Sales Navigator, promoted ads, those things that are going to be magic bullets. It's going to solve your problem for you. But when and if you've ever logged into Sales Navigator, you'll see that it literally is just a list of advanced search filters. And when it doesn't give you any tutorials, when there's nobody there to guide you on how to use it, you've just invested bare minimum, right? $100 a month to do what? Stare at a blank screen because you don't know what search filters to put into that. How you're able to leverage that in a way that's going to be effective and lucrative for you is to first learn how to connect, find, attract, and connect organically with your ideal clients on LinkedIn, and do it where you can repeat those results consistently. Then from there, you'll know, right? I always say organic lead generation is about quality of leads. You're the person with the eyes that's determining, you're pre-qualifying your leads, okay? Once you get the quality down, then you can invest in something like Sales Navigator, where then it goes quality of quantity, not low quality, lots of quantity, because that's not going to serve you either. So yeah, prerequisite, you gotta learn how to do this organically first.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's important to have tested a message and be like, oh, this hits before you put a lot of money behind getting it in front of more people. Um, Especially if you're newer to your business or marketing and you're kind of still in the experimentation phase to seeing what hits and what doesn't.
That's right.
Um, all right, so let's get into the juicy storytelling bit. So I imagine you work with clients quite a bit on this. We talked about it a little bit in the beginning in the about section and how you present yourself in your profile. I get a very strong sense of Mollie right when I go and look at your LinkedIn profile. Um, One thing I feel like a lot of new entrepreneurs coming specifically, they worked a corporate job, you had to really be very a specific version of professional, and you had to erase certain parts of your personality that might be considered spicy in any sense. Do you have any advice for entrepreneurs on LinkedIn balancing feeling like they need to present as professional, but also wanting to share their authentic voice and present themselves in a very powerfully authentic way?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just say that it can be really challenging. That transition from corporate to entrepreneurship on LinkedIn is that transition from my corporate profile to how do I leverage my personal profile for my business, right? So yeah, it is complicated. It is overwhelming. It's not something that happens, willy-nilly overnight. Okay. So I do want to, with all of the tough love that my spice that I've been throwing at you, let me just, just soften that for you, because yes, it is very much something that can be overwhelming. Now, here's the thing. All right. In the world of LinkedIn, where so many people have already created this culture of having to be air quote professional. Number one, what the fuck does professional even mean nowadays? Just saying. Like, seriously, what does that mean? Okay. And
Yeah.
number two, right? When you think about how LinkedIn was created to begin with, yes, it was more for the working corporate professional that was networking. In today's world, it is for B2B, it's for B2C. And so we can't live in the what LinkedIn was created from an antiquated perspective anymore. All right. And so when you can, and at the end of the day, here's the question you ask yourself: do you want to make money on LinkedIn? If the answer is yes for your business, time to buckle up, buttercup, and really embrace your voice. Because here's the thing, like, even amongst me as a business coach, okay, if you just do a search, there's hundreds of thousands of business coaches on LinkedIn. What makes me stand out against somebody else is my vibe. It's my tone. It's my brand. It's like, I like to say shit and fuck in my posts. On LinkedIn. Yes, yes, I do. Okay. If that is going to make you feel some sort of way, you are not my people. Okay. No, I'm kind. I promise. I'm a really kind person. Right. But I'm going to say shit and fuck on my LinkedIn post. Why? Because that's just who I am. Like, I embrace that. That's my voice. That's my tone. And quite frankly, if you are a fellow coach or even service provider, you want to call in the people who are going to feel misaligned with your energy. And so the sooner you can say, yes, I want to make a lot of money on LinkedIn. And number two, I only want to work with people who get me. You're going to be like, okay, yeah, okay, okay. Now's the time. Okay. How would I really say this? And so here's a practical tip for you. Open up a Google Doc, turn on the voice typing option, and just talk out your post. Talk out your newsletter, and then use that. Use that for your profile, use that for your posts, and it's going to be in your voice.
Ooh, I love that. You know, one experience I was really scared of when so I my LinkedIn, I like didn't use it at all for a long time, and then I had to when I worked in kind of like the techie marketing world, where they were very strict, like no clients should ever know your any political affiliation or anything remotely controversial about you. And then I started like being more me for my business, and I was like, so many of the old clients and old colleagues are like lurking on my LinkedIn profile. And it freaked me out until like I had like a few coffees with them and I'm like, oh, this is actually chill. But if anybody is like freaked out of like past career people seeing new stuff about them, do you have any advice? Just like let them free, remove them somehow. What do you think?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think at the end of the day, just like every other platform, you can block anybody that you feel like isn't, they're supporting you. And to your point, those people are the best people to write content about. I'm just saying. Okay, so if you guys, my top performing post of all time so far is the post where I wrote about I'm in a black top and I'm wearing bright red lipstick. Okay. And I wrote about my senior VP of HR because I used to be in HR for 20 years. And he always told us that we should be natural makeup. He is like super old school, where we always had to wear closed-toed heels, closed-toed shoes, and we had to wear pantyhose if we were wearing a skirt. Okay. Now I live in here in Wisconsin. Yeah, so it's like super humid here. You're telling me I still have to put on pantyhose and I couldn't wear cute little slingback sandals? Like, what are you trying to tell me, right? So that is my top performing post because I actually put on the first the whole point was if my red lipstick is not in alignment with your dress code policy, I don't want to be there. Kiss. And I actually wrote that. I said, that was one of the many micro ways in which my leadership made me feel like I had to suppress my voice and what I wanted to do. And I felt like if I feel like wearing red fucking bold lipstick, I'm gonna do that because that's how I'm feeling today. I'm sassy, I'm spicy, I'm gonna wear that. And I never could in corporate. And so that's my top performing post so far. And I ruffled some feathers. And so if people are lurking, they're gonna know your stories about them. Just let them keep reading it. They'll know. They'll know it's about you. About them. They'll be the star of the show.
Yeah, we're in Scorpio season. Love it. Which leads into my next question. I imagine posting that post, your feed altered to like show you more stuff like that, which I think is really important to people because I know I like hid from LinkedIn for a while because from tech marketing, I was being served a lot of like tech bro marketing perspectives and press on the pain points and quantity and like just sorry, I'm doing the voice again, but like just stuff that did not resonate with me, political takes that didn't resonate with me, values that didn't resonate with me. But when I started posting a little more scandalously. My feed got a lot more social justicey. I was like, oh, I actually like what this person is saying on my feed. So, can you give us any insight into how what you are seeing on your feed is impacted by what you're posting?
Absolutely. And I'll kind of just tie this all together as well to the whole organic SEO and lead generation component too, because your news feed, the more you can engage with other people's posts that you resonate with, the algorithm naturally knows, like, oh, okay, Molly really likes this. Like, this is great. Like, we're going to go ahead and give her more of what she's engaging with, right? So, I have a saying when it comes to organic lead generation on LinkedIn that birds of a feather flock together. Okay. So just think about it. So in my case, career and leadership coaches are my number one niche clients. And because, of course, I put up a lot of content for them, I'll say, like, hey, Black Friday's coming up, right? Or the New Year's coming up. And what do you have ready for New Year, new career, new me? You need some ideas? Here's some ideas. Da, 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 da. They're going to comment on that. They're going to like it. And then, therefore, I get to see more of their people on my news feed, which makes it so much easier for me to do lead generation. Because when I come across, I'm like, oh, you're a second degree. Oh, you're a third degree. Connect. Hi, I came across your profile. I came across your post. I really like it. Let's stay in connection. And that's how I've been able to take my business to right now. I just looked yesterday, actually. I just looked yesterday. Okay. 65% of my paying clients are from LinkedIn. Cold leads. Okay. Cold leads from LinkedIn.
Cold leads meaning they came to you. Um,
Meaning that, or I reached out to them. We've never had a conversation before. We've never networked. I wasn't introduced to them. I stumbled across them, or they stumbled across me.
love it. Awesome. Um, so I wanted to ask you on your profile, speaking of being like, it's about the vibes. I want to serve you the vibes of me and my business. You have a really cool tagline on your cover photo, I think, that says where business strategy meets business spirituality. I'm wondering if you could talk about that a bit. What is that approach?
Yes. Okay. So, of course, as a coach, I use my own personal journey and experience to give back to my clients and show them the way, right? The North Star of all of the lessons I've learned. And so coming from corporate, super type A, super like workaholic, overachiever, and I thought that that same kind of energy was going to be in service for me when I started to build my business. And to a point, it did. It absolutely did, because it helped me to make really quick decisions. It helped me to take action. I did a lot of task orientation. I used a lot of my logical mind. I was heavy in my masculine energy when I was in strategy. Okay. And that only served me for about a year and a half, 2 years at best, if I'm being really honest. Okay. What got me here didn't get me there. Okay. So what I started to realize was, holy cow. Okay. So shit, strategy, like you can only learn so much. Sure, it's like a different way this person might say it, but at the end of the day, sales and marketing strategies for years, for centuries, hasn't really changed at its core. Okay. So now that I know the strategy, how do I continue to grow my business? And I realized that what I craved more than anything was building my business from ease, simplicity, alignment, and excitement. And that's how the business spirituality side came. I was like, okay, so when I teach about LinkedIn strategy, yes, we are going to learn how to use the newsfeed to find and connect with your ideal clients. But listen to this though. Lead generation, I don't recommend that you put on your calendar. Why? Because it should be something that you want to do. Something that if you're like, okay, like I'm straight, I'm a girl here, okay? When I'm on my period, I am not doing lead generation that week. It is not happening. It's not no. Lead generation doesn't happen on my blood week. It's just not. No one can tell me otherwise. Okay? But my week after, hell yeah, I absolutely energized for it. I'm going to do a lot more lead generation that day, that week, because I feel good in my body, in my soul. I feel like I've taken the time to rest. And so that's how I balance business strategy with with spirituality is it's important to learn how to lead generation. Of course it is. And what is your body telling you? Are you tuning into your masculine and your feminine energies? What is that? How do you balance that? Okay. And how do you do lead generation from ease, simplicity, alignment, and excitement?
Yes, like the vibes, if we're thinking about this like attraction, the overworked, I'm exhausted, please somebody just like take me out of my misery is not as attractive a vibe as I'm rested, I'm resourced, I'm happy to be here, I can't wait to talk with you. Like even just saying that verbally, I felt like my body changed and I'm like, which person do you want to talk to? Like which person do you want to hang out with? Which person do you want to confide in? Like which person seems like they have the capacity to hold your problems rather than get you to save them from theirs.
Yeah. Yes, 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 yes. And I think too that it's when we build our businesses, at least for me, when I started my business, it was because I wanted time freedom. That was the number one thing for me. I have 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a husband. I'm busy. And I didn't want to always be in that really toxic masculine energy of run, 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 go, 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 do, do, do. And so when I realized I had that aha moment of like, no, lead generation doesn't have to happen today, this week, because I have my period. I don't feel good. I just want to snuggle up and watch a holiday Christmas movie right now and a rerun or whatever. Then I'm going to do that. And I know that that following week, I just know my body. I know my cycle that I'm going to feel that much more energized next week. And I'm going to bang twice as much lead generation next week that's going to make up for this week of rest and rejuvenation.
I love that. I think there are so many people that are so hungry for a new, less extractive approach to work that like complements and supports and feeds their life rather than takes away from it. So I wonder if you could leave us before I let you go for the day with any words of encouragement about how you don't have to be like a stereotypical MBA businessy person to have LinkedIn be an incredible marketing platform for you and spiritual, atypical work approaches, etc.
Yeah. If you already align and identify as atypical, okay, it is, especially on LinkedIn, where so many of us may have been called or felt like a black sheep. That's what I would use that in my interviews. I would be like, I feel like I'm the black sheep. Hi Molly, can you just yeah, hi I'm Molly, I'm a black sheep. I always went against the grain. When it comes to your LinkedIn marketing strategy and your sales strategy, let me just tell you this, okay? Being atypical is one of the best things that you can be because it helps you to stand out amongst the rest of the potential competition. Okay. And quite frankly, I am here. If I'm the only one riding at dawn that's going to sit here and fight against cold pitching and fight against all of the corporate hocus, what a crap that's all around, I'll be the only one, but we ride at dawn. So if you want to come and you want to join me, come on over. Right. So that's what I'll say.
I love it. Yes. Like the more atypical you are, the less competition you have. For
It is.
that. Well, Molly, thank you so much for sharing your wisdom with us. I'm gonna go like spruce up my LinkedIn profile after this. But before I let you go, would you mind letting the good people know how they can work with you and where they can follow you on the interwebs?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. As you can tell, I can talk like this for hours, hours. So thank you for the opportunity and for sharing your community with me. So of course, who would I be if I didn't direct y'all to my LinkedIn? All right. So feel free to find me on LinkedIn. You can find me under Mollie Lo. My last name is spelled Lo, or my company Lotus Mentoring. So you can find either or. And yeah, connect with me directly on LinkedIn. I would love for you to just put in your connection request, or if you have a token and send me an email, a credit, and just say, hey, I heard you on podcast and I love it. Let's connect. Even better. Okay. And for those of you who are like, all right, you got me, Molly. I really, really want to tap into LinkedIn. This is the beast that I have yet to tame, and I'm ready for it. Lucky for you, I host a monthly LinkedIn challenge. It's a 5-day challenge, and we go through everything. We go through profile optimization, attraction marketing content strategies. We go through lead generation, in-mail sales sequencing, and then of course on the last day, you get a live Q&A with moi that I can help you button up any other last minute questions you have about your strategy. You literally get a full-blown LinkedIn strategy in 5 days. So if that's something that you're interested for, nudge me again on LinkedIn and I will send you all of the information for you to join.
That's awesome. And for everyone listening, all of Molly's links will be in the show notes for this episode. Thank you, Molly.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. Please head to the show notes for how to work with Molly and myself. Now, don't forget to subscribe to this podcast so you don't miss an episode and this sparkling wit and wisdom. And do leave me some stars, 5 of them preferably, and share this episode with some of your entrepreneur besties.